The music is too loud. What's up? What's up? Hey, we got folks up in here. It's always nice when I see people I recognize from my comment section. It's always good vibes. Good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. What it do, man? I just finished filming for the day, so I got a good hour and a half in me to yap your ears off about sinners. How we doing today? How we doing today? Welcome, welcome. If you can barely hear if it's good, well, that's the point. I want the music to be like just low-key in the background, just so there's not like just empty white noise in the background. What's up, peeps? What's up, peeps? Nessa, hello. Rebecca, hello, hello. Hello to you, sir. Hello, all. Hello. Michelle. Hi to Frank and Club Frank. Looking forward to this. There's so much to chat about. Hell yeah. Nah, music is fine. Yeah, it's just low-key in the background. Yeah, that was the vibe I was going for. Not too loud, not too crazy. 2 more minutes, then we dive in here, man. Let me know what you guys had for lunch, man. I had some salmon, some beans, some kimchi, some white rice, of course, a lot of water. I'm still finishing the movie. Lola, you're not done with the movie? We're gonna have spoilers. You better go finish the movie. Strange question. I want to watch the movie, but I get triggered by fires because I almost died in one. Oh my god. Is there a lot of fire? No, the only fire you see in the movie is a very beautiful scene. I don't think it's a destructive fire. Well, there's also a part where someone threw a Molotov cocktail and it burst into flames, but that was like minor. And I'm sorry that happened to you, by the way. That ain't great. I'm well. I've been waiting for this. Add some Thai green curry. Ooh, my wife loves Thai green curry. Yeah, we're here for deep dives, man. So this is very spoiler heavy. It's officially 4 p.m. This is going to be very spoiler heavy. This is the first time I'm doing one of these. If you saw my recent post, obviously I watch a lot of shows and movies away from the channel, from reactions, and sometimes I just want to yap endlessly about this. Club Frank with mellow music, hell yeah. I just want to talk about some stuff because I've been watching some things recently that I really enjoy. And I think what created this is a bunch of people had asked me, Frank, when are you going to react to Sinners? And I'm like, I've seen it about 6 times already. I saw it like twice at the theater and like 4 more times with friends and fam at the crib. So I just want to talk about it. And I was like, we do lives here every once in a while, so why not hop on one of these? Everybody coming in, hello, hello, hello. Man, this chat about to be bumping today. We're talking about Sinners. So I do not have a rigid structure for how this live will go. I just know that I would like to watch the trailer first, just to get our juices pumping in the mode of Sinners. And then I just start my endless yap session. And obviously I will account for like some of the questions and some of the chats, obviously, because this is a live. I made this a live and not a single video because obviously chatting with you guys back and forth is what like really makes it great. Um, man, I'm pretty full, but seeing some of you guys' lunches is making me hungry again. Sardines in oil and white rice. Yo, I fuck with sardines heavy, but Val cannot stand them. Sola, hello, hello, hello. Just got off work. Ooh. Hell yeah. Sandwich sound right about nice. This is an appropriate medium to talk about sinners. Yeah, back and forth discussions. I'm just going to try to focus on what I'm trying to say, because you know I always get carried away with the chat. Alright, we can see the chat on screen, right? So like you can see what everybody's kind of yapping about. But yeah, we're gonna begin. Ooh, I just ate some liver sausage with sugar. God damn. Seeing it in IMAX was life-changing. Wish I liked sardines. I don't know. Sardines is not just for some people, but I grew up on that shit, bro. Sardines with some spices and some bread. Or you mix it in with your food. Ooh, boy. Alright. Really happy I watched it 3 times. Unfortunately, we don't have an IMAX around where we live. For now. Alright, we're... sauteed sardines with onions and tomato. God damn. I've never tried sardine, but the packaging always seems pretty cute. Yeah, pretty cute packaging. Alright. Keep dropping your lunches. It's fine. I'm gonna read through the whole chat later. But first things first, like I said, we're gonna check out that Sinners thriller. Just so we get in the vibe before we start our yap session. Is the music turned off? Yes, sir. Alright, let me make this be seen to y'all. Curried sardine. Oh my god, never thought about that. God damn. Alright, let's focus on this shit we're watching, man. Let me move the chat. Alright, Sinners, quality so far. I didn't even ask. The quality is good. Miles' voices are amazing. Absolutely. The first time I heard that kid talk, I'm like, your voice does not fit this body, but I love it. Like, deep ass shit, bro. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. But then the singing voice, it's not just the talking voice. His Remick, bro. Remick gotta be one of the best fucking villains. Remick gotta be one of the best fucking villain I've seen in a minute, dog. Like, he's just diabolical. Like, he's evil in the best way, where it's like, this dude is funny. Like, he is. And he also has a soft side. Like, he has his own like trauma that kind of drives what he's doing. Like, what he's doing is bad, definitely, but he has that soft side that can at least like think about it. But I'm getting too hyped just watching the fucking trailer. And this is the reason I don't watch trailers. I haven't watched a movie trailer in like 2 to 3 years. Because they give so much away, which I get it. They got to get people in those seats. But going into Sinners blind, I didn't even know Michael B. Jordan was going to be a twin. Till that first shot where the camera tilted and you saw 2 of them smoking together. I'm like, so watching this trailer is like, no, so many good shit in here that I want to experience firsthand. It's a great thriller. I usually watch it in the movie. He said, "Is that you?" He said, "Nah, nigga, it's Jim Crow." I'm like, they got my boy Stack acting crazy. I shat myself. Yo. I mean, this film is... Yeah. Yeah. Sinners is that one, bruh. So... That trailer, like this is the first time I've seen that trailer. I think this is trailer number two. I think the first trailer I saw was just the first one that wasn't so um heavy on like story beats. But first things first, this movie is big shout out to Ryan Coogler, man, because Ryan just has this way of appreciating blackness, culture, in a way where you can tell this motherfucker means it. Like he really means it. Like, you know, he has so much respect for us, our women. I mean, we're gonna talk about MVP Annie in this movie because like so many great things to talk about. But shout out to Ryan Coogler for creating this piece. I mean, this movie is one that I even consider like a musical. Like, it's not a musical in the, I think, normal sense of the word, like genre. But the music in this movie, it's its own character, I feel. Like, the music when not just the soundtrack as well, not just the singing music, the soundtrack as well, it puts you in so many emotions. Like when Delta Slim was talking about how they strung up his friend, you know, and you could hear the soundtrack of the beating and him being strung up and all that. Like, it really puts you in it makes you feel those feelings, you know. Anytime Stack is goofing around, like, it has a funky vibe to it. And anytime Remick is on screen, that dun 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 dun, like, the music in this movie was its own character. Heavy influence there, man. And Sammy. I love the world building they did. One of my patrons was talking to me recently about how what were they saying? I'm just scrolling through it. We'll get back to it when I find it. But Sammy was just like the lore behind it. I think what my patron was telling me was just how the vampirism in this movie and how they played it was kind of like separated from popular vampire media, and how vampire media has just been like low-key kind of drowned into like Christianity, where they always need to use holy water crosses. But this movie, Ryan kind of took it to like old school like vampire lore, where it's like garlic sticks to the heart, they have to be invited in, which I feel was such a big part of this movie throughout the storyline. That whole concept of invitation, you know, in a way where like you're almost complicit with your annihilation, so to speak. I loved that about this movie. And one of the main things that I fucked with, obviously there's a lot, but just between you and I loved the love stories in this horror crazy vampire movie. I love the love story and how much Ryan put into Smoke and Stack, having dedicated scenes that they proclaimed their love for their ladies. And obviously we won't talk about MVP Annie and how, like, I feel like this movie would have been great regardless without Ryan putting so much heart into these brothers, having these love interests that they respect, they love, but they had to leave for different like reasons, but also came back, and perfect scenes to tell them how much they love and appreciate them. Obviously with Annie, like us finding out that Smoke had a baby, and they lost their baby, and him going to Annie, and there was just this beautiful scene of Annie asking him, "What are you doing here?" And after he did all the whole bullshit that like we just came here to cook, we need you to cook for us, we're doing a juke joint. I think there was this moment where she really looked at him and be like, "What are you really doing here?" And he went on this whole tangent of like you want me to say it, that it hurts coming here. I miss you. I love you. And the way the music also plays a role in that as well is just so, I fucking loved that scene, man, of obviously her coming over, like cuddling him. And obviously this movie is horny as fuck, and I respect this movie for its horniness, because again, I was speaking earlier about Ryan Coogler, like just putting so much respect on black women, which in this country, like black women are literally the butt of every joke, even from black men as well, which I never understood. That internalized racism is just so thick, and the misogyny that like there's a lot of hate towards our women. But shout out to Ryan for making a big black woman a main love interest, and not for fun, not for jokes, not for humor, like actual love interest with like actual connection between them. And obviously the sex scene, like the camera didn't cut to black, it didn't skip, like they stayed in there. It was such a beautiful moment, and like so fucking important, because like you don't, like when was the last time you saw a big black woman as a main love interest, as in genuine, not the butt of the joke or some weird shit like that. So that was so important to me, and I'm sure a lot of people as well. And the whole, since we're talking about Annie is the MVP of this movie, because she was the one, obviously she was a main part of putting the juke joint together, but also the role she played in letting us know, like our cast and us the viewers, what's actually going on, that these are not haints, like these are freaking vampires. And the clutch move she pulled with the pickled garlic, spraying it on Stack, that was amazing. And another, if you watch the movie, I wish I could like put the movie on screen, like, boy, YouTube would destroy this for copyrights. But the music again, when she sprayed the pickled garlic and Stack vampire version ran out, and she was like, "Oh, these ain't hates, these are vampires." Ding, ding, ding. Oh my god, the music. So she was very important in this movie, and obviously what had to happen to her at the end, with her telling Smoke, "Don't let me turn into one of them." And she was amazing. And going back to just the love story in there, obviously I'm just focusing on that first, because that's what I really enjoyed. Well, one of the many things I enjoyed. Obviously Mary's as well. We'll talk about Mary later a lot more as well, but at the juke joint, right, when Smoke told Stack, "You better take care of her before I do," and he initially went to kind of drive her out, and she kept kind of requiring. And I think that was one of the things I also love about it, that our two female love interests, they knew that our male interests were kind of hide their emotions to deal better with what they're missing. But our two female characters kind of required that from them. The same way Mary earlier said, "What are you actually doing here?" And he went on that spiel. Mary too, she was like, "What's going on?" And he did his own monologue too of how he just wanted her to be saved, and she wasn't going to be saved here, and she wasn't going to be saved with him, and just essentially just proclaiming the love for her. I think that was amazing, both of them. So shout out to Ryan for like finding somewhere in this movie to really put space for love and tenderness with these two hard ass men. You know, like there's a soul in there. It's very humanizing for black men as well, because you know the world has a kind of view on us that can be very dehumanizing. So shout outs to Ryan for making our two main characters some of the hardest motherfuckers out there, some of the most gangsters out there, but they still have a heart and they still have emotions and feelings and care. So it's like a very well-rounded put together of black men that you don't always see in Hollywood portrayal, if that makes sense, and how much they love and like supported each other. And that was amazing. Speaking of Michael B. Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is one of his best roles ever. And I think the twin factor was heightened. You know, he wasn't just playing one character. He was playing two characters that from the moment you saw them on screen, you could notice their differences. Like, someone say where Wallace at? Shout out to The Wire, man. Shout out to the fans of The Wire. But I think this is Michael B. Jordan's best work because of the duality he played. Like from the moment they was on screen, from their different dress code, which hinted that one was working with the Italians, and what was the other one? What was the other gang? Italian gang, and help me out, chat. Was it Scottish? No, it's not Scottish. I think one of them was Italian mob and the other one was Irish. Thank you. So even from their dresses, the hats they wear and the kind of suits, there was already that difference. And obviously the biggest one was the red versus the blue that they wore. And Smoke being very, very cheeky, very funny, very full of life and energy, always the Joker. But freaking Smoke, man. That man was hard as fuck, bro. I think the only time Smoke smiled in that movie was at the end when he saw Annie on the other side and he held his baby. I think that was the only time he smiled throughout the whole movie, which is so fucking powerful that seeing his baby at the end of his life was what made him actually smile. So I loved that portrayal. Michael B. Jordan and all. And our main boy, because of how the twins almost took the presence of every scene they were in, I feel like you forget that this story is really about Sammy, right? You forget that the story is surrounding Sammy and his gifts and what he wants to do with those gifts and how the world around him wants to appropriate that gift, wants to assimilate so they can get that gift essentially. And obviously big commentary on the music industry and just culture in general about how things are just siphoned out of black culture. Like Delta Slim said, they love our music. They don't just like who's making it. And again, Ryan Coogler and cultural commentary, that boy cold, bruh. He is cold with it. In every single movie, he finds a way to put in a very relevant cultural message in there. And you just love to see it. But Sammy, man, like I was saying, you forget that old boy Sammy. Oh my God, I forgot to put back the music. forgot this was Frank and Chill, but we've been going almost 20 minutes without the chill. But shout out to Sammy, right? Because that is his story, and I love the lore of the world that people with these talents can conjure spirits from different space and time and all that. And Sammy's voice, yes, I know it's a movie, but hearing his voice low key make you believe that like he can really conjure spirits like from the past and the future. I love that Sammy was wanting to make a name for himself. Obviously wasn't interested in the church, kind of like his dad. And obviously, again, coming back to Delta Slim, what he said later in the movie, that, you know, this religion was forced on us, but the blues, the music, like we brought that from home, like that is us. So I love how there's almost this tug of war for Sammy in the movie, where someone says Sammy. There's this tug of war for Sammy where it's like Remick wants him, you know, Remick wants him to assimilate, to get those gifts. But at the same time, his father and the church also want him, you know. So it's like Sammy is caught between this two pulling and also, you could even say, oppressive viewpoints, you know, because again, like Dr. Slim said, you know, they showed us the Bible while our heads was down reading the Bible. They took our land, like they took our culture, they took everything. So yeah, it is predatory in a sense, just as much as like Remick wants to assimilate, wants Sammy to assimilate and like strip him of culture and make that himself and not just one big group. Obviously I can't talk about Sammy without talking about that scene, that amazing scene that during our second watch at the theater, it made my friend legitimately strike me. Because I think she didn't know what to just do with her body during that scene. And obviously the scene I'm talking about is when Sammy performed at the juke joint. And again, I love how the narrator, but in this case, when it happened, the narrator was Annie, which again, Annie is like the backbone of this movie, right? So like when Annie, you could hear her voice say essentially thing at the beginning, that some of these people have these powers that can conjure things from the past. There was a masquerade there dancing, and the future, and then the dude with the bass guitar. Nothing could have prepared me for that scene, because so many things combined perfectly, like the stars aligned. Obviously his voice singing, the visuals of everything going on, and then the music, like the addition of the bass guitar when the guy just started ripping through, walked into the screen. That scene was amazing. I have watched it so many times. Like I said, my friend she was hitting me in the theater. It was just so beautiful, and seeing different times in our culture and seeing it all come together. Oh my goodness. I think there were even some Nigerian masquerades there dancing, the ones that had the legwork. Oh yeah, that's us right there. That was dope. Even the DJ, you know, from 90s and 80s, and then even the Cali dudes like crip walking and the girls like throwing it back in the corner. And I also love the addition of the Chinese as well, when what's her name? When Grace went to his ball, and you could see, I don't know what they're called, but like she was in their traditional garb, kind of like just flowing, and that connection and Ryan bringing that in again. I'm gonna give big props to Ryan Coogler because he knows how to celebrate other cultures when he gets a shine. Like again, if you guys have seen Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, like he didn't just focus on, obviously the African culture took precedent, but he also, you know, developed Namor to be of like it's Mexican heritage, right? The can't remember the name of the tribe from the movie, but let me know in the chat. I think it's Mexican with some Aztec influence. Like he knows how to incorporate like other cultures when he has a shine, and I love that he did that with the Chinese folk in the movie. Shout out to Grace and Bull, RIP, gone too soon. We're gonna talk about Grace later because like there's some chatter about Grace on the internet that I'm like, context, guys, context matter. But that scene was simply amazing, and obviously that transition to us seeing what Remick sees from the outside. You know, I think that was Remick's POV, the burning that he saw. But such a powerful scene. If you haven't seen that scene, go watch that. The music changed. Yeah. God, I wish I could play these songs. Like I have all these songs saved in my phone, but YouTube will destroy this. Remick. Like we said earlier, Remick gotta be one of my favorite villains that I've watched in a while. He doesn't give a fuck. He is like horny for Sammy. Obviously not in a sexual way, but like what Sammy wants. And I think it was such a great addition to have these vampires drool and salivate. Like it just shows their fucking hunger, but also like how much they just want to bite our shit so much. And like I said earlier, like why do I have a crush on Remick? Hey man, Tanya, you need Jesus, man. I get it. Obviously, what I said at the top of the video of like Remick having a soft side, a side like you can low-key understand, but doesn't justify what he's doing. Obviously, from the little I know, Remick is Irish, right? And they had similar plight to what black folk had, right? Under the British, right? So it's like him and his culture was kind of like assimilated, and it's almost like he has lost all that, his culture, his will, to the point where he uses an American accent throughout the movie. And something that is so amazing that I noticed on my like fourth watch is the only time he used his real Irish accent was when he said that prayer with Sammy, when he was about to kill Sammy, and Sammy was, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." That was the only time when Remick started saying it with him. That was the only time Remick actually used his real accent. So like he's been so like, his culture and everything is almost like has been so taken away from him that like he don't even use his real accent. You know what I'm saying? And him wanting Sammy and his power, from my point of view, obviously in the movie he said, "I want you to bring my people." back to me, like I'm away from them and whatnot, and I need his gifts. You know, that's what was said in the movie, which is true, but there's a bigger like subtext there that is so good. It's like he wants all of them to come together and be one big happy family, but again, that takes away their individuality, right? That takes away their culture. Being all part of a group sounds good and kumbaya, but like it's kind of when people say I don't see color, so I'm not racist. That's a big red flag. You should see color. You should see the differences and recognize the plight of people with those differences so that you can recognize and be self-aware of like your impact on the world, right? So like being all one part of the group sounds fun and all, but like we still need to be individuals, because that's how we carry our culture. That's how we push our culture, pass it to the next generation. So unfortunately for Sammy, that happened to him and his people and his culture, but he tried to do the same with Sammy. But I'm glad it didn't work out for him. I'm glad he didn't work out for him. Again, we talked about Sammy being in this tug of war, right? Between his dad and the church and Remick. And one of the biggest surprise that I loved about this movie is this movie didn't do the lazy thing of, oh, let's just make the white people the vampires killing the black people. Although you could call the KKK way worse than vampires for what they did to black people in the Americas and all that. I love that Ryan Coogler put in so much nuance there. He's like, let me make our bad guy Irish. We're still gonna keep space for the KKK. And if you know, that final scene, they got what was coming to them, right? So I love that he gave the big bad so much depth, so much more nuance than just white bad, vampire bad, kill black people. I think it made for a more interesting avenue for like conversation. You know what I'm saying? Him being from a culture that have a similar plight. It always make me think of when J. Cole said, the good news is you went a long way, but the bad news is that you went the wrong way. You know, like you can feel for Remick that he's kind of like persevered through everything that happened to his culture, but he was going about it the wrong way, trying to like assimilate other people, essentially do what was done to his people to other people. And for that nuance, Ryan Coogler, bro, come on, bro, cooked. This video is already like 40 minutes long, and I have not once talked about some of the hate this movie got online, because it doesn't matter. You watch this movie, you know what it is. You have two brain cells to scratch together to see all the nuances and want to learn more about what this movie is. So all them folks saying whatever about this movie online, that is the worst movie, you know, sometimes you can't be surprised when shit smells like shit, man. Like, it's gonna smell like shit. You can expect shit to smell like Five Guys on a Sunday evening, you know? So we don't talk about people, like, we're here having like good discussions about what we love and respect about this movie. And I talked about the love stories. What else about this movie was, I love that these vampires were fucking goofy. Like, they were fucking weird. I loved that so much. The whole pig paw Robin clean. I'm a pig paw Robin clean. Somebody said I haven't seen any hate for the movie. Good. Stay on that side of the internet that you are. Just stay there. Because that's what I do. When I see shit like that, we have control of what we consume. I just hit not interested, not interested, not interested. Because there's no point you can prove to these motherfuckers in the comment section. There's no amount of essay that you can write. Just stay away. Stay away. I'm gonna come to Franklin channel and enjoy good vibes on live. But I love that these vampires were goofy. They were not just hard ass edgelord, freaking whoop de whoop. They were weird as fuck. Like 3 of them pulling up there, and 3 of them pulling up there with the fucking banjos. Hey, they got that shit on though. Like they were spitting those songs. Big Paul Robin Clean, Big Paul Robin Clean. Yo. And I think on second watch, I actually listened to the words of that song and I'm like, what the fuck? These are some weirdos. And the lady as well, she was the weirdest. I love that they gave her this energy of an auntie in church, where everything the pastor says, she'll say, yes, Lord, yes, 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 love. Because anytime when he was talking to Annie, when he was talking to, when he was talking to the group later at the juke joint, it's like anything Remix says, she says, yes, yes, freedom, forever, love. Is like, they gave her that auntie in church vibe. Amen. Like fellowship and love. Yeah. Fellowship and love. Fellowship and love. Like, oh man, I love. And again, Ryan Coogler doesn't miss. I feel like him giving her that characteristic was very much on purpose, because a lot of times with like churches and cultish movements and whatever, their leader might be spilling the most worst diabolical shit you've ever heard. Zero critical thinking. Yes, 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 let's do it. Like blind support. So I think him making her like that was definitely a choice. I don't think Ryan put anything in this movie by choice. Someone just mentioned another real MVP, Cornbread. RIP to Cornbread, man. Cornbread. Dude, I saw something on TikTok the other day that, man, Cornbread never went back home to his wife. And that broke my fucking heart. Because when Stack was recruiting them, you know, Stack made a joke about her actually giving him the good with all the money he was gonna make, right? And it's like, I respect Ryan Coogler so much for saying this is just the movie. Like, there'll be no sequels, no part 2s, no nothing. Let this movie just enjoy what it is. I will give my left toe to get 5 more movies of just exploring all these characters. Because how can you make such rich characters with backstories and such depth and nuance in less than 3 hours? Like, it would be different if this was a like 10 episode series or something. I think that's just the brilliance of Ryan. Like the first 40 plus minutes of this movie, no horror, no vampire, no nothing. It's just building up these characters, and that was brave as fuck. That was brave as fuck. But he knew he was cooking with hot grease. He's like, I know how to make conversations. I know how to create like depth in characters. I don't need to put explosions and shit in front of people to make them stay. I was not bored for a second in that movie, and I've seen it 6 times. Like the story jumps around from this person to this person, and you're just so involved. But then at the 40 or 50 minute mark, you're like, oh shit, this is now a horror movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it was beautiful. Shout out to Cornbread, man. Shout out to Cornbread. Michael B. Jordan, he killed it. He killed it. One thing I loved about the movie is, obviously we're going to talk about MVP Annie again. The bag she made for a smoke that he wore, and again with the music. That his beautiful scene where he was like, I've been around the world. I've seen men die in different ways I can't even imagine. There's only one. I haven't seen any monster or nothing. It's just money. And like, that's the only way you can get that power. And the way she started telling him, You're standing right here in front of me, 2 arms, 2 legs. You and your dumbass brother still breathing air, 2 eyes complete. What made you think all the things I learned from my mother and all the prayers I've been doing wasn't the one keeping you safe? And the way the music was flaring up in the back of like maybe some of her voodoo thing that she was doing, I was like, I'm eating this shit up. It was so good. The camera work, everything was so good. And then he dropped the line, why didn't none of that work for our little boy? Fuck. And I love that he said that not necessarily to be like, aha, gotcha, or trying to disarm her. They're still both mourning that they lost their baby. Again, shout out to Ryan Coogler. Hollywood like depicting black people in conflict, black couples in conflict. Ryan Coogler was like, get the fuck out of here, man. I'm gonna make this complicated black couple that have their struggles. By the end of the day, they're human. They love each other. In another movie, that could have turned into a fight. But no, he gave it the respect it deserved, because that's how real fucking people act in real life. If you're online and all you watch is Pop the Balloon, Love Island, and this, and that's where you're taking your if that's where you're taking your notes of what black relationships are, you're cooked. Like, look at black people in real life. Like, we're happy, like we love each other despite all the trials and tribulation we go through. But Hollywood just has this way of like putting black men and women in a box that they're always at each other's throat fighting. Yes, there's some real life aspect to that, internalized misogyny and racism. But for the most part, meet black couples in real life. Like, they're normal ass people, not yelling at each other's throats. So shout out to Ryan for doing that. Oh yeah. I want to talk about Sammy and learning that button. Hey man, again, I appreciate how horny this movie is. It's like this movie was so many genres, like so many flavors coming together, and the whole love. Oh my god, it's like I'm just so frustrated at Hollywood and popular culture that make you feel like black men are like have no emotional intelligence, can't love, is just anger and lust. It's like, it's so frustrating. But that's why when I see people like Ryan Coogler writing black men the way he writes black men, I'm like, thank you, brother. Like, thank you. Like, seeing all our main characters like show emotion, show vulnerability, show like excitement for, you know, intimacy and sex that is not just freaking the vision and stereotype of black men towards like sex and all that, but showing them tender and loving. Bro, these brothers love getting their necks kissed, bro. It's like the sensuality in there is it goes a long way. Heavy representation, shout out, because you know there's a way through racism and all that like black men are viewed like hypersexualized, this, that, and the third, but not always on their own terms, so to speak, but and also in a way that is very dehumanizing. But this movie is like, it gets everything right. It's like the more you dig into this movie, come on, bro. Someone said Sammy found her pearl. Tanya, you need to leave, bruh. Perline. She said, slow down, boy. Bro, Sammy's voice when he said, I'm not so little anymore. And I'm not that nice either. I was like, Lord. I was like, Lord. Y'all see how Perlene was acting after the incident? Shorty was... Yo, my wife and her friends, I think we went to see it for the first time. And I don't know which one of them said it. And they're like, yep. She's singing like she just got her pussy ate. I'm like... Perlene was who... She was hollering, especially after the first time Sammy asked her, like, are you gonna sing? And she was like, maybe. Shorty was... Where's anyone's husband in this movie? Hey man, I saw someone made a good point about how sometimes marriage back in the day, just because of how patriarchy works, marriage necessarily sometimes wasn't necessarily about love, but just for like sustenance and shit, because like, you know, the man gonna get what the women can get and such. But I was like, you know what, I feel that, but regardless, man, Perlene was on demon time, bro. Sammy was on demon time, bro. When she told him, careful boy, I'm married, this nigga had the audacity to say happily. Ooh! Hey man, I don't approve of being a homebreaker, but Sammy boy, preacher boy, he was preaching. Not the gospel though. He was dropping bars. I love, again, Ryan Coogler gave this three men time to have intimacy, vulnerability, and also just all around fun with their women in the movie. And I think that was amazing. I think that was amazing. Perlene, man. And at the end of the movie too, his club was named Perlene's. And I was like, Ryan Coogler, which stone did you not turn in this movie? Like, he crossed every T, dot every I. Perlene, RIP to Perlene as well, man. You was a real one. You was a real one. She was so beautiful. Her voice too. She was a great singer as well. It wasn't just homie, like she was a great singer as well. Shout out to Perlene. Sammy did find that button, man. I love this scene as well where Stack came back to the door and he was wondering what was going on and he heard preacher boy. He said Youngin found that button, didn't he? And I love how the scene also mirrored when Mary went back there, when Mary and Stack were in there, and Sammy also went there, put his ear on the door. I'm like, nope. He went back to tell Smoke. He's like, why didn't you get my brother? He said he was getting lucky. Like, I'm not going there by myself. Before we talk about Mary, again, shout out to Ryan Coogler for how he writes women. Shout out to how you write women. He write women as humans, not as plot devices, as humans, the good, the bad, the ugly, flaws, and everything. I said something earlier about grace. Obviously, I know I said we're not focusing on any hate online. I think this one is less of hate, but just something I want to address. Grace get a lot of flack for welcoming the vampires into the barn. And I feel on regular circumstance, that criticism is valid, but context matters. The first half of the movie showed us their daughter, right? Showed us their daughter that is at the shop, right? What's the daughter's name again? Lisa. The movie showed us Lisa earlier, right? And that connection and that bond and all that. And tell me which mother would hear her husband being possessed, not possessed, but you know what I mean, her husband saying, we're gonna go pay a visit to Lisa. Tell me which mother will cross her arms there and do kumbaya and just hope and pray that everything will be fine. I feel what Lisa did was very human. You got to put context into perspective as well. It was very human thing to do, because what did he say? That we're going to go back to Lisa because I can hear your husband's thoughts now. That freaky bitch. He said, and I even know where you like to be licked. Motherfucker. Again, that just adds to the whole assimilation points, right? Because like when we assimilate your culture and everything, we become part of you. That motherfucker spoke Chinese. You know, we become part of you. We take your memory, your culture, your everything. You know, it takes away that individuality that makes you who you are, that makes you proud of your culture, this and that. So this man like heard a demon from her husband saying we're going to Lisa and the rest of the town. So I think her crash out was very valid and understandable. And again, it was part of the plot. The plot had to go on. They had to come in there. So I feel like for Grace, all I'm saying is criticism is good, but like context also matters. If Lisa was not in the picture and all she had was Bo and Bo was already gone, I can see how she would just relax and be like, let's just wait till the morning. But you've seen that your husband is gone and your only daughter is going to be slaughtered by these people and become what you just saw your husband become. Come on now. I'm a light 2 Molotovs at that point. You know what I'm saying? So for Grace, I totally get her crash out. Totally valid. But the same way Ryan knows how to just kind of fuck up our expectations is she threw that at Remick, and Remick or was it a backhand Remick did to the bottle? Someone says if she could have given Smoke a few minutes to come up with a better plan, they might have been able to get back to Lisa. But that's the thing though, like the context there is that she's under so much pressure. Remember, fucking vampires are dancing outside. All the things her husband just said to her, he's essentially gone. Like there's that pressure, and I totally understand you on that point you just made, but there's that, how I see it, like there's that heavy pressure there. Like I've been in a lot of moments in my life where I had to think of what to do ASAP. 9 times out of 10 I don't make the right decision. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's not you're not in a calm state of mind where you can really rationalize. It's like under pressure time, sometimes rationale goes out the window. That's why I said they're very human, and it's worth criticizing, but I'm just saying, under pressure, bro, even on my phone, if I'm talking to someone on my phone and someone else calls me, and you know the thing your phone does, where it tells you, do you want to join, hold, my brain turns to mush for like 5 seconds, and I can't even decide. So yeah, ideally, things could have gone differently. But like she sacrificed herself and took out her husband, and I think that was very dark but poetic. Like she staked him in the heart and they both burned. And it's so interesting how Mary and Stack were so heartbroken when Annie got bit. And Annie, mind you, being an MVP again, she was the one who realized that if you injure Remick, they all feel his pain. Because I can't remember if she was the one who smacked the shit out of him or someone else, but she noticed, and she was the one that told the group they feel his pain, which was important because during the end, when Sammy smacked the shit out of Remick with the silver guitar and all the vampires kind of felt it, that was when Smoke had a chance to like jump into the water and sneak up behind homie. So again, MVP Annie, shout out to her. She's the real MVP. But yeah, it was so interesting to see how they kind of mourned because they've been turned into vampire. I think they're kind of like in they've adopted Remic's whole simulation point of view where they just want her to just die and come back as one of them. So him killing her or making her not change was a loss to them because they just lost a friend. They just lost a sister. So that was cool as well. Grace, we've talked about Grace. I think we kind of talked about the whole British to Irish to what he was trying to do to Remick. Well, sorry, what he was trying to do with Sammy and how that was cold. The ending of that movie or the post-credit scene, I love how, unlike a lot of vampire media I've seen, I love how when Sammy changes them, yes, they all turn into this hive mind, but they also are individuals in their own right. And I love that even when Sammy was destroyed, that Stack and Mary, it's not like they're just evil like him, or it's like they still had their own minds, you know, they still had their own goals and whatnot. And this movie has so many areas that could really make you cry. The final battle between Smoke and Stack, where they both that final battle where they were fighting on the top of the barn before like Sammy jumped out. I for some reason I did not notice this in my first watch, but the bag, the protection bag that Annie gave Smoke literally saved him, because at a point Stack overpowered him and tried to bite him and his fangs were close to his neck, but there was some visual effect of the bag actually repelling him. I did not notice that on first watch. You always did. Oh, I did not notice that on first watch at all, but watching it a second time, I could actually see it clearly. Like there was some kind of force field protecting him. Again, Annie being the MVP. A big black woman being the MVP in the movie. Shout out to Ryan Coogler, because we never see it at all. It's almost like big black women don't exist. Shout out to you, boss. Shout out to you. Wumi is amazing. She's an amazing actress. Beautiful lady. Like, loved it. She saved him, and what did Smoke said? Something about I'm sorry I couldn't protect you, little brother. And Stack saying you always did. Like that submission as well. I think that was beautiful. The love between these brothers, like when Stack got stabbed. Sorry, when he got siphoned. Woo! We didn't talk about that scene. Time for another horny break. But the whole thing with Mary, but like when he got siphoned, essentially, I think that's the best acting I've ever seen from Michael B. Jordan. Like him holding his brother's body, like begging Annie to do something, begging Annie to save him. Like, do you have a charm for my brother? Please. Like, he's gone. The way he didn't want anybody to touch his brother, the way his hand was shaking, bro. Like, oh my God. And it's one of those things where the main character dies in the movie and you're like, is this happening? Like, is this going on? Because, like, you wouldn't expect one of the twins to die like that. Exactly. I can't imagine what it's like losing the twins. And what he said, he was the best part of me. Or I'm paraphrasing there, but no. Everything good about me was him. The only good thing about me was him. Woo! Boy, that had me hot. that had me hot. That vulnerability there, even when they were leaving his body to cover him up, it was like it's all the subtle acting from Michael B. Jordan, where he's left his brother. He almost like touched his body like a few more times, almost like, man, I don't even want to leave him. Like, touch his belt, like, just that was beautiful. But my point earlier about how they're very different from Remick is that at the end, when we see him come and see Grandpa Sammy, in my mind, just from how Hollywood normally do vampire or monster thing, for some reason I thought he was coming for revenge. Like, even the way the music changed when he walked in the door with the fucking dopest colorful sweater of all time and the haircut. Like, when he came in there, I was like, fuck. I was thinking he was gonna kill Sammy. But then again, Ryan Coogler just freaking subverting expectation. You know, he just told him essentially how he survived. That the brother promised him to let Sammy live out his days. And then to show the results of that assimilation still in stack, even after how many decades, is that he still tried to offer Sammy immortality, which is crazy. And I represented that low-key as how the dirt and stain that colonization and that colonization left in a lot of African countries. I'm from Nigeria. We gained independence in 1960, sorry. We gained independence in 1960. And seeing how a lot of dirt and stain from Western culture infiltrated our country, our culture, and still remains till this day. You know, it would surprise you that in a lot of countries, even in Africa, there's colorism, where before colonization, colorism was not a thing. Like, your skin is your skin, like, you are how you are. But these days, you see fairer skinned people getting more favor than darker skinned people. Even my homie in college, she was from Nepal, and she was telling me how till this day, like, more light-skinned Nepalis are given like preferential treatment. And all over the world, with like imperialism, colonization, is like they leave so much fucking stain on us, bro. All the homophobia, all the freaking misogyny and everything, and how that works is like big stains that were left on our countries and on our cultures that we still haven't recovered from this day. Till this day, we still haven't recovered. So I think that was like a proper choice by Ryan. Like, yes, I know in the movie, again, there's subtext, right? In the text, it was just Smoke. It was just Stack telling him, hey man, I love your music. I can make it so you play forever. Like, you never get sick. Da, 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 da. But the subtext there is important because we know what his master, sorry, I had to use that word, but you know what Remy wanted. Assimilation, right? He wanted you to be a part of it. So the same way that colonization left a lot of stains on our culture, like seeing Stack offer old Sammy immortality so he could keep enjoying the music, so he could keep touring. Because what did Stack say? Man, all the recordings of your music is horse shit. I want to hear the real. Like, that's what I love. You know, so he might not even consciously know it. Just the same way black people that have anti-black sentiments, that hate our own women, that hate the way we look, hate everything about us, sometimes it's not a conscious choice. It's because that anti-blackness have been so ingrained in our bones, bruh, and culture. You know, sometimes you don't even realize why you're hating black women or why you're believing stupid stereotypes. That anti-blackness is so ingrained, and it takes work to like get that out of your system. You feel me? So I don't think Stack meant anything malicious, but he's still doing his master's beating without even knowing. So, you know, him telling Sammy, I can make you live longer. But Sammy said, I've had enough of this bullshit. Sammy to go. Sammy to go. He said, I've had enough of this bullshit. So I love how that expectation was subverted. It's like, it's not like your regular horror flick or monster flick where the monster comes back at the end or the killer comes back at the end and it cuts to black. No. Ryan Coogler don't do shit like that. Like, subvert the expectation. They shared a hug. He played that tone again, and then the flashbacks of seeing the first time Sammy played that song for him on that day leading to the juke joints. This movie is perfect, bro. That's why I say we don't listen to people who only have bad things to say about this movie, because it's like, I'm sorry, you just suck. Like, you have little no sense of culture or appreciation or appreciating other culture. And it's one thing to say it's not your cup of tea, but to say you don't like it, like, ugh. One of my wife's boyfriend, one of my wife's friend, her new boyfriend, they were at the park chilling. They went for a picnic. And he said the movie was bad after hearing everybody around him kind of gush about the movie. And when they told me, it's not the fact that he didn't like the movie or he had shit to say about the movie that was telling. It's the fact that he felt comfortable saying it in front of all these people that are giving genuine reason why this movie is great. He felt so comfortable bashing that movie, and I was like, you're saying a lot, brother. You're saying a lot. But this movie is amazing. The context, the layers, this movie will be talked about for years, honestly. It's like, except for Superman, if you haven't seen Superman, don't play yourself. Go watch James Gunn's Superman. Except for Superman, Sinners is the only movie that has given me such a visceral reaction in the theater where I'm like, what did I just watch? Like, double tap, double dip. Like, let me get back in there and watch it. But I loved that ending, that it wasn't just some revenge bullshit. And then we saw the flashback of him playing the same song. Traveling. Oh. And then the most beautiful scene of the movie, in my opinion, was that last, before Stack left, and Sammy said, you know, at least once a week, I wake up in shivers or whatever, reliving the events of that night. But before that night, I could argue that that was the best day of my life. And then the flashbacks. Fuck, bro. The use of flashback in this movie is perfection. Not just flashback, extra scenes that we never saw in the movie. Like seeing the juke joint being put together and Stack smiling and said, yeah, that was the last time I saw the sun. That was the last day I spent with my brother. And that song said, and I live like it's the last time for the right. Oh, early in this morning, when I opened up my eye, oh, that scene alone of them reminiscing about that day, I listen to that song every day. And I live like it's the last time. Man, that scene was incredible by far. And it came at the end, and this is the thing with the structure of this movie. It's so unconventional. Usually the third act of movies like this is like the big fight or the big bat, but the whole third act of this movie is just reminiscing, and just obviously there was the big fight with the KKK, but like the conclusion of the movie was like so powerful and not what you would expect. Like them reminiscing about that day and that music coming in and that song, man. Again, I wish I could play a lot of their songs, but YouTube is gonna freaking snipe my channel for it. But that had to be one of my favorite scenes. That last scene, Sammy going back to his father and his father telling him to drop that guitar, and then more flashbacks of him thinking about the whole day and what happened. And again, I mentioned at the top of the video, Sammy was caught between this tug of war of Remick trying to assimilate his culture and his gifts and like benefit from it, and his father also wanting to benefit from Sammy as well, him as a whole, make him a preacher and whatnot. And I think, man, beautiful. And seeing Sammy holding the guitar in his chest, crying and driving. And if you remember in the beginning of the movie, Sammy wanted to drive the car. And what did Stack say? You can drive it, maybe on the way home. And of course, Sammy did drive the car on the way home. So amazing. And obviously, we gotta talk about Smoke and the KKK. That man said, if I see you and your clan buddies, I'm gonna kill you where you stand. And this movie was so good with the climax of Remick versus Sammy that while watching the movie on the first time, I totally forgot about the KKK plotline. Like, totally forgot about the KKK plotline. So when Smoke sat there trying to roll the cigar, and if you notice, Stack always rolls for him. The one time you see him smoking without Stack rolling was he was using a pipe while talking to Annie. So I'm guessing because of just, I don't know what it's called, but just as a result of being at war, he's very shaky, like his hands are shaky, so he can't roll himself. His brother is the one that always, PTSD, his brother is the one that always rolls for him. Thank you, Sola. His brother is the one that always rolls for him. The one time he used the pipe is because his brother wasn't there to roll for him. Even at the juke joint, he said, I'm gonna need to smoke. And his brother said, coming right up. So again, the use of flashbacks, him sitting out there trying to roll a cigar, but thinking of his brother, thinking of his love that he just killed, thinking of everything. Man, my boy couldn't roll nothing, man. And except for the PTSD from him being a soldier, even without that aspect, I feel like it's double layered. Him just being so like messed up that he can't focus on a simple task of like rolling a cigar, and him just putting it away. And of course, when the KKK pulled up, so good. So good. Again, another duality of Remick and how good Ryan Coogler is. He did not make, he made Remick very like nuanced. Remick even said, hey man, Remick is the one that even exposed that was a slaughterhouse. And I think that was brilliant. Like, make your villains complex and complicated. He's the one that even broke the news to them that, yo, this is not a juke joint. This is a slaughterhouse. You know, they were gonna off you guys. When we're done here, we can go kill them. You know what I'm saying? Like, Remick is so nuanced, you know? Like, he's like, we can go pack them up. You know, like, yeah, you're right. This is his nephew, the dude that was singing. Like, this is his nephew. So shout out to Remick again for just being a cold ass villain. But yeah, them pulling up there ready to slaughter. And I love the fact that when they went to the door, it was locked. In hindsight, while watching the movie a second, third time, you realize that Stack and Mary were in that barn. So essentially, Smoke was protecting them. Because remember, when Remick and all his people were burning, when they were burning, you could see Stack and Annie, like they ran, like they were gone before. So they were literally in that place inside the barn. And obviously they had to be in the barn because Smoke wanted to still like keep it a secret that he kept his brother alive when he was supposed to kill his brother, right? So not just that he was just slaughtering these people, being a man of his word, he was still protecting his brother, bro. Clap, 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 clap. Amazing writing. Amazing writing. And the way he offed them and the way the music was, again, the music is his own, it's its own like character in this film, right? So that was, God, that was good. And before he ambushed them or before they arrived, if you notice, he took away the charm, right? I think he took away his charm, and I think he wore his brother's, he attached his brother's dog tag to the gun. I don't know if you guys noticed, but he attached Stack's Tommy gun to the, he attached Stack's dog tag to the Tommy gun. So in essence, he was fucking them up with his brother. And him removing that charm after having those flashbacks, I just feel it was what Mary told him earlier, that I have someone on the other side waiting for me, which is their son, right? I have someone waiting on the other side for me. And I think he was just like, F this life. Because again, something, a criticism that someone might want to bring is that, oh, why did he just come out blazing? He didn't take any cover or anything. That was the point. He was being reckless. He literally took away the only thing that has been keeping him alive. The only thing that saved him from Remy. Like, he took off the bag. Because it's like, I don't want to fucking live in this life. I'm ready. I want to take out these motherfuckers and take myself out so I can go join my babe and my babe in the afterlife, you know? So he was ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So I love that scene so much of him just letting it all go. Because, I mean, this man, he's been part of a gang. He was in the military. Of course, he could be tactical and take out all of them without them even noticing what was going on. But he wanted to go out with smoke. He wanted to go out with a bang. You know, he started with the long range joints. Boop, boop. He came close. Bro, this man with the grenade in the car. Come on, bro. He offed them. And again, another top tier, beautiful scene after he got shot. Again, homie wanted his smokes. So he asked the clan guy, do you have a cigarette? Because he needed a smoke over 30 minutes ago, but his brother wasn't there to roll for him. So him grabbing that, him asking the guy for a smoke, the guy called him whatever he called him. He's like, bet. Still giving the smoke, light it up. And again, that movie would have ended there and be perfect. But leave it to motherfucking Ryan Coogler, bro. Don't forget his name. Motherfucking Ryan Coogler, bro. Leave it to him to bring back Annie, the MVP, wearing all white, holding their damn baby. My goodness, the beauty of that scene, and seeing her say, put out that smoke. I don't want to get in on the baby. And for this bitch, this clan guy, to interrupt such a beautiful moment by saying, oh, I got money. I got money. Is it money you want? This man loaded a new magazine, bruh, and sprayed this dude head to toe. And in essence, that was doing something for Annie too. Take out the smoke. I don't want it to get anywhere close to my baby. So I think there's low-key a double meaning there too, where she's like, finish your business, then come with us type of energy, you know. And him spraying dude head to tail, man, putting the smoke away and grabbing his baby. And he said the words again that he said at the grave during the beginning: Daddy's here. No, Papa's here. Yeah, he said Papa is here, Papa is here. And that moment of seeing Annie there doing such a beautiful thing as breastfeeding, that connection, boy couldn't wait to go to heaven. He couldn't wait to get there. And talking about Annie again, I just gotta love, you just gotta love and appreciate how much research Ryan Coogler put into this. You know, a lot of African traditions in there, a lot of African medicine or hoodoo. And of course, I think Ryan had a Chinese consultant that lived around that era to consult on the movie and how grocery stores work back then, because like back then in the South, obviously the black people couldn't buy from the white grocery store, so the Asian people and Chinese people over there were the ones that could sell to the blacks, to the black folk, what the white folks wouldn't sell to them, and kind of the other way around too. So like they had to have two stores across the street, because that beautiful scene after Stack shot dude in the ass, Terry shot Terry in the ass for trying to jump his ride. You could see when Bo told Lisa to go grab the mom, Lisa left in that beautiful one shot. She left the black store and went across the street to the white people store where her mom was working and grabbed her mom. And so I love how much research homie did in there. Can we talk about Stack and Mary's 90s wardrobe? Costume department, balls to the wall in this movie. Elisha and Elisa, their names. But yeah, man, all around greatness, all around gas from this movie. 1000%. I don't know what else to talk about in this movie. Did we miss any part? Oh yeah, Mary wanted to spit in homie's mouth. Obviously there was a lot of conversation online about like Mary's blackness or percentage of blackness or whatever, and there's a lot of like talk of using whiteness when it's appropriate, and how like there's a sense of overconfidence that can come with that, because again, Mary was told like multiple times, like, if you're seen here around us, it only takes one person seeing you from your town or one white person seeing you for all of us to be in trouble. I think that's something she should have been more conscious of. But again, she was there on a mission for her love. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But there was that aspect of her, even when she went out to see Remick, you know, again, she wanted to use her whiteness as a kind of way to like relate with them, because what did she tell Stack? They're gonna open up to me far more, they'll open up to you. Heart was in the right place, but obviously we know where that ended up for her, you know. I feel like there's a kind of awareness that should be had around how she chose to use like her whiteness in that extent. She was trying to help. Heart was in a good place, but it got her into trouble, you know. And with Remick outside, where they sang another creepy ass song, bro. These vampires are fucking weird and I love them. I'm tired of all the like edgy, dressed in all black, ultra cool, ultra badass vampires. Give us fucking vampires with banjos, bruh. Anywho, talking about Mary some more. From the little I know in there about the like one drop rule, it was essentially a system created by white folk to find any way to discriminate against anyone who is connected or even close to black folk. It was just another way to like discriminate, or like, how dare you kind of associate with kinfolks like that. So I think the one drop rule was, if there's even any connection or any mixture of black in your blood, you are considered a black person. Therefore we can dehumanize, we can do whatever we want to you, because even though you have a white appearance, you're black regardless of whatever. So there's that part of the conversation as well. But I'm better directing you guys to people who are better qualified on that topic to talk more on it, not me per se. But I think Lassie, will you go? Will you go, Lassie, go? The music, the movie finds ways to be deep, analytical, hilarious, entertaining, horrifying, everything, and a bag of chips all at once. It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about Sinners. But I think I've mentioned everything I really love about Sinners. I would like to go back into this comments and hear all the yapping from this comments for sure. But yeah, that was an hour 40 of talking straight Sinners. This is the first time I've done this. I like it a lot. I didn't like really go into all the like questions and comments I got, just because live stream is different. If it was just a recording, I could really take my time and sit down and just like dissect and edit everything together. But live stream is very different. But I hope you guys enjoyed this chat. This would be the first of many, because I have so many things I want to talk about, so many movies that I've watched, TV shows. I recently saw Superman. That's another movie I want to gush about. I recently saw Malignant, started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm in part 3 now. I saw Killer of Killers, Predator. What else did I see? I saw Corpse Bride. I saw The Wild Robot. And I think there are some others in there. So like, we'll have some lives like this. Superman was... Oh man, the music in Superman. That movie just makes you feel fucking good, man. Like, that is Superman, bro. Shout out to Henry Cavill. Amazing actor. Those movies were dark, man. Like, I want to smile when I see Superman, bro. I can remember smiling in Zack Snyder's Superman. Like, probably his first flight scene when the ground was vibrating and he took flight. That scene was, I was smiling. This movie, I've seen it twice in theaters now. My jaw hurt from just cheesing the whole time. The movie is cheesy. He wears trunks, draws on the outside. But yeah, kids see that and they love that. Like, he's approachable because he looks goofy, like how a kid will dress like a superhero in their underwear. Like, he's approachable because he's doing that. He got trunks on. He jokes. He has a stupid dog. Like, it's all great. But that's all. Nick Holt says, Lex, best Lex of all time, bro. Of all time. But yeah, friends, that is all about Sinners. I have to go to the pool with wifey and friends and try a lazy river for the first time. But thank you all for watching. I appreciate y'all for being here. Anyone who missed this live, we're gonna I'm gonna have it edited and put on YouTube so you can catch it on there. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate you all. Kisses. Take care. Would you go, lassie, go?